All right. All right. So hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Carissa Forde. I work at the Joyce K. Salzberg Center. So I'm the Associate Director for Student Professional Development. So in the Joyce K. Salzberg Center, hopefully everybody has heard about us by now. So what we do at the Joyce K. Salzberg Center is essentially help you, students within the College of Liberal Arts, land internship opportunities. We help you, we help you explore like your career interests. So like I saw somebody talked about potentially wanting to learn about how to find an internship that is specific to like their field. So we can help you with your career interests. We help you in terms of figuring out how to market yourself to employers. So how to prepare for interviews, how to network, stuff like that. We also discuss things like academic internships or academic credit, how you can get that. Help you build your professional network. So if you want to build a LinkedIn to connect with different individuals, we definitely do that. And then more like professional stuff. So like having a proper written cover letter, resume, we help students strengthen their interviewing skills. So let's say you have an interview coming up for whether that's a part-time job, a full-time job, an internship, whatever the case might be. We can kind of help go over like mock interviews to help you be and feel as prepared as you possibly can for that. And then a lot of options for other students are often going to graduate school and what that looks like. So if that is something that you are interested in, you can definitely meet with us at the Joyce K. Salzberg Center, and we'll be able to kind of like talk you through and help you position yourself to be preparing for graduate school. In addition to that, in addition to graduate school in general, like oftentimes students come to us to ask us for help with, their resume, their statement of purpose for graduate school, helping them get through that process of writing the essay for graduate admissions and stuff like that. So we kind of help you with full picture career and professional development. So anything in terms of career professional development, if you know exactly what you want to do, I strongly encourage you meet with us, talk to us about that plan. If you don't know what you want to do, I definitely strongly encourage you to meet with us so we can kind of help you explore different options that you can do for your major. But we're all around, we're here to offer career and professional development advice to all our liberal arts students. So if you have not used our services yet, you can find us on Handshake and make an appointment with us to come talk about internship opportunities, how to get credit for those, just anything along the career and professional development lines. All right, so moving forward, I'm trying to keep an eye on the chat as well. So if you have questions, just kind of drop them in there. All right, so for our session today, we will, just kind of talk about what an internship is and why you should do an internship. Then I'll go through the process of learning how to search for internships and how to help you secure internship opportunities. We'll talk about how to receive academic credits. And then I'll just have like some resources. So maybe you're not sure where to get an internship. So we have some internship sites that our students have been to, but then also I can show you where to find internship opportunities and where we have them placed different places throughout the college. So I'm assuming that nobody has taken an internship before. So I'll just go ahead and start by defining what an internship is. So really and truly, an internship is a short-term experience for you. It's not a long-term commitment. It's a very short-term commitment for you to kind of get into a professional setting to experience what it is like to be a part of that professional setting. So this experience is an extension outside of your classroom. So an internship is not necessarily in a classroom unless you are doing a teaching type internship where you're experiencing what it is like to teach in a classroom. We're in the College of Liberal Arts, so students don't necessarily participate in those types of internships. Usually through the College of Ed, you would do that. An internship also allows you to utilize skills or learn skills and different knowledge of a professional setting that you can transfer to like a job once you graduate and you're no longer in college. So just so you know, this experience is a short-term commitment, like I mentioned. It does not displace an internship, does not displace regular full-time employees. So if you are at an internship and people are getting fired because you're an intern, then maybe something's not going right there. So you should definitely talk to us about that. Internships usually have a beginning and an end. Usually they are a semester long. So maybe for the fall semester, you would start in like August, and then you would finish up your internship around December as finals are coming about. Sometimes internships can be extended. Let's say you do a really great job on your internship experience and they like you and they want to keep you on. Sometimes students that do summer internships are asked to continue for the fall semester. Or if you do like a fall internship, you're asked to continue in the spring, or if you do in the spring. So internships, while they do have a beginning and end, depending on how good of a job you do, oftentimes students are asked to stay a little bit longer and continue an internship. There's also a possibility that sometimes when students continue an internship, it then becomes a paid opportunity for you. So I've had experiences where students have done an internship in the spring semester, and then it continued throughout the summer, and then they got payment for that internship opportunity. Just to really put out there, an internship does not only have to be unpaid. I think that's a misconception that a lot of students in the College of Liberal Arts have. You can have an internship that is paid and then also earn academic credit for it. So internships are either paid or unpaid. So I know a lot of times students come to me and they're like, yeah, can I count this as an internship? It is paid. Yes, you can still count it as an internship opportunity. Internships will often give you a job description that tells you exactly what you will be doing, and hopefully you should be doing that when you go to this internship site. If you aren't, then you can have conversations with us about how to kind of address this with your supervisor. There are always clearly defined learning objectives and goals of an internship. We often share that with employers. We'll say, hey, a student needs to be able to do this. They need to be able to learn actual skills that they can use and transfer to other opportunities once they leave. So oftentimes internship sites will reach out to me and say, hey, can you tell me exactly what it is that qualifies as an internship? And I'll offer them information about that. The next thing is an internship should be, you should be supervised on an internship. So you should be getting constant feedback about your performance, how you're doing, a supervisor assigning you tasks, and then also reporting on how you are completing those tasks. So internships, you are not necessarily a boss, more of like a supervisor that kind of like guides you and helps you as you are performing on this internship. And then there's also like feedback that should be built in. So like, let's say, oftentimes students get feedback after projects that they've completed. If you are taking an internship course for credit, your supervisor is responsible for giving you end of semester feedback on your progress and how you've done in terms of like skills and skills that you are lacking in, so you know how to improve on those skills as you move on. So these are just a couple of things in defining what an internship is. It is not a full-time job. It is also not a part-time job. An internship is a clear and specific experience that you have. Oftentimes, people ask if part-time jobs can be counted as internships. Not necessarily, because it just kind of depends on what you are doing in a part-time job. Internships have specific things that we want, objectives and goals that we want that sometimes a part-time job does not have. So it's just a matter of meeting with us so we can kind of differentiate between what it is you're doing in your role and then also what we require from internships. Hopefully that's good for people that aren't really sure why they should do an internship. Just to add to that, which I'll go into in the next slide, so why you should complete an internship. So really and truly, an internship is for you to gain experience in a field that you might be interested in, right? So let's say I was interested in working in marketing, but I wasn't really sure what that was like, right? So I would go and do a marketing internship and really gain experience in like, okay, so this is what marketing entails. So marketing entails writing up, social media posting to market products and services to, customers. Marketing is also planning, strategic, blah, 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 and this and that, right? So an internship really allows you to see what it is that something that you're interested in, what it is like to be an employee in that field. So it also is experience that you can add to your resume. Really and truly, an internship helps to build up your resume. So an internship really helps you to build up your resume. So I strongly suggest to students, especially within the liberal arts, because a liberal arts career is not necessarily something that looks the same for every single person. You're all interested and curious about different things. So definitely trying an internship so you can see what it is exactly this is, and if this is something that you see yourself doing as a career after you graduate. Internships also help you broaden your professional network. So one thing I will say is most of the opportunities that you will gain will be through connections that you have or somebody connecting you to somebody else, right? So when you go and you do an internship, you have built a professional connection or a professional network within that organization that you're interested in. And let's say you're about to graduate next week, Wednesday, you can reach out to that internship site and say, hey, I'm graduating next week and I really enjoyed my internship experience. Is there any full-time positions that are available? Also, is there any, do you have any connections that you know that have opportunities that I would be interested in? These are my interests, and this is what I would like to do. So you get to build and also broaden that professional network, because oftentimes when students are on internships, we strongly encourage them to, talk to other people outside of just the coworkers that you work with and your supervisor. Look around the organization and see who else works there. Talk to the president, talk to the CEO, see what it is that they do, right? How to broaden your knowledge on what is done in this specific organization, but also broaden your network. So now you've connected yourself and this person knows who you are. Often you should always have a pitch like, hey, I'm a Temple student, blah, blah, blah. These are my interests. So people kind of remember who you are. Like I said, you learn a lot about your career interests. So I will just give a personal background of mine. So when I was an undergrad student, I was an accounting major. And I feel like I wanted to do accounting. I did not end up doing accounting because I realized that I did not want to, spend my entire time just looking at numbers all day. So internships kind of helped me figure out that this was not the field that I wanted to go into, because of like the workload and like the work-life balance or the lack thereof of a work-life balance. So I was able to decide that I didn't want to go into that career field because of like what that job entailed, right? So in my mind, I had an idea like, yes, I would love to be an accountant, but did not necessarily know what accountants do, right? So, internships will help you find out about that interest in that field, and you'll also be like, okay, this is definitely not what I see myself doing. So I'm going to kind of like check that off the list and go down my list of other things that I might be interested in. And then lastly, internships really add to your credentials when you receive academic credit for it. This way you get to showcase on your transcript that you completed an internship, but also was able to complete rigorous academic work as a component of that internship experience. So it really helps to boost your transcript, your academic credentials, you as a person, you as a candidate. So internship opportunities, you should complete internships if you would like to build on your own portfolio and kind of present yourself as more of a well-rounded candidate as you move on into the professional world. Here are just a couple testimonial of students that completed internships and, like really got something out of it. So Melody graduated, I think she is graduating this year, May, next week. So she did an internship last summer. So this was her testimonial. So at the start of my internship, it was daunting to start reaching out to law firms on my own and learn how to market myself with the achievements and knowledge that I do have. However, once starting to reach out, I learned how supportive the legal community can be to those who have a passion in the field. This experience has provided me with the tools necessary for not only marketing myself, but the resources to advocate for myself. Not only has the program allowed me to expand my legal knowledge, but also put me in a position that qualified me for a position as a legal assistant at that firm. So Melody did gain a full-time position at the end of her summer internship. However, she did not accept that position, and she now has another full-time position at a different law firm. But essentially, she was a little bit nervous in the beginning because I worked very closely with her. She was a little bit nervous in the beginning to, kind of put herself out there and like really try to explain the skill sets that she has. But once she did and she got into the legal field, she really and truly enjoyed that internship, and they loved her so much that she was offered a full-time position at the end. So I know sometimes it's really difficult to kind of put yourself out there, but that's what we're here for, to kind of help you navigate that process of like, hey, I'm interested in interning at this place, but I don't know how to get started, right? So you meet with us, we can kind of help you figure out how to reach out to organizations to kind of get you that internship opportunity. Gary was another student that graduated in 2021. So Gary works at the airport. So Gary said, before interning in government affairs for the Division of Aviation at the Philadelphia International Airport, I was not aware of the inner workings of an airport, its day-to-day operations, and how often airports interact with local and state officials. I quickly learned that the airport is heavily involved in lobbying to satisfy the interests of the airport and its tenants. So Gary wanted to work at the airport, not really sure what you do at the airport. I mean, we all travel, we take flights, but we don't know what the day-to-day and what it takes to run an airport, right? So once Gary got in there, he really learned about like the inner workings of an airport setting and learned about how airports are tied to like state and local governments, right? So like, even in my head, like I travel through the airport often, but I would never think that airports are, airports have anything to do with like politics, right? But obviously, clearly it does. So really and truly, internships kind of help you get that firsthand knowledge and experience about, all the inner workings of it. So participating in an internship will really help you to understand what an organization does, and you have more knowledge than anybody from the outside looking in. All right, so let's talk about you all. So from the chat early on, when I asked people what they really wanted to get out of this, lots of people wanted to know about internships, but not really sure how to get started on internships. So now I'm going to go into basically how to start that search looking for internships and how to kind of figure out how you select an internship, sorry. All right, so I like to tell students to utilize these 5 steps in searching and securing an internship, right? So the first thing I tell students to do is, a lot of times you are completing a major, but not really sure exactly what you want to do within that major. So the first thing you should do is, on the University Career Center website, there's this icon called "What can I do with this major?" So I like to tell students, go into this, what can I do with this major? Type in your major and see all the different areas that you can go into for your specific major, right? So there's often like education, government, nonprofit, and all these sectors, right? So figure out which sectors it is that you are interested in, and then you start deciding how to look for opportunities. So there are so many resources that I will kind of go through how to find internship opportunities. So the next step would be to, after you identify the areas of your interests and skills that you have, then I would say search for opportunities. But while you are searching for opportunities, I always recommend not putting all your eggs in one basket. Let's say you want to search for a summer internship. You don't want to wait until, you don't want to just solely apply to one summer internship and then that internship didn't work out, and then basically you have to start again from scratch. So I tell students to apply to about 5 to 10 opportunities. If 10 seems like too much, 5 is like a good mix, right? So you want to have options. You don't want to put everything on this one internship and then you weren't selected for this one internship, and then you're like, kind of like, oh, we're at the end of April, semester is over, summer's starting soon, and I don't have an internship opportunity secured yet. So just try to expand the opportunities that you apply to. If 10 is too much, then 5 is a good mix, or go 7 in between. But definitely don't just solely apply to one internship opportunity. Then you want to start constructing and customizing your application materials. So I don't know if you've been told, but when you are applying to internship opportunities, your resume will be tailored and altered a little bit for each opportunity that you apply to, but your cover letter will always be changed to be tailored to every single opportunity that you apply to. So you want to make sure that you're customizing your material to each individual internship site that you are applying to. You don't want to be applying to an internship and sending the wrong cover letter with a different organization name in there. It looks unprofessional, and then also will probably likely not have you, they will not consider you for this internship opportunity. So making sure that you are customizing all your application materials for your specific internship site that you're applying to. Then after you do that, you want to apply. After you apply to these opportunities, you want to start preparing for your interviews, right? So like I said, we offer mock interviews with students. We've often done panel style interviews. Depending on the structure that you are going to have for your internship, you can reach out to us and we can pull together colleagues to kind of help us get that structure together for you. So you can have a real-time experience of what that structure will be like so that you are as prepared as you possibly could be to attend that interview. Then after you have secured your internship opportunity, you should consider receiving academic credit, because why not, right? You already have an internship opportunity. Why not earn some credit to go along with it, right? All right, so in terms of how you would start searching for internships. So if you don't have a LinkedIn account, I strongly recommend that you have one. LinkedIn will be your best resource once you graduate from college, in terms of like networking and staying connected to people. The one thing I will say is the people within college is already like a huge network that you have. These people will graduate and move on to live all over the world and move on to all different organizations, right? So if you go on LinkedIn and you're looking specifically for a job opportunity or whatever the case might be, oftentimes you'll see people that are like Temple Owls because people put their schools on there. You can always reach out to an owl and say, hey, I'm a fellow Temple Owl myself. I'm looking for this internship or job opportunity. I see that you work there, or I see that you're connected to this person that is the hiring manager or whatever the case might be. Do you have any tips that you can offer me to help me, structure my material so that it fits what the organization is looking for? So LinkedIn, I strongly encourage everybody to get a LinkedIn, keep it updated to kind of, use that as a strategy for finding internships, jobs, but also staying connected with people. The second way to search for internships is within your own resources. So you already have a network of faculty members, friends, family. And like I said early on, referrals are your easiest ways to secure internships, jobs, and any opportunities in general. So within just your personal family network, you have parents, your parents have jobs, your parents have friends, your parents have coworkers. So there's already like a big network that you have just within your family. Then also, if you think about your friends have parents, your friends' parents have friends. So you already have like a huge network. And then faculty members all did different things before they became a faculty member. So definitely don't forget to leverage faculty members to ask them, hey, I'm interested in working here. Do you have any connections, or do you know of anybody that do you know of any opportunities that you can kind of point me to, right? Then the next thing you want to do is attend any professional development events, right? So the Joyce K. Salzberg Center, we often have internship fairs, career fairs, different types of networking events. So you want to be attending professional development events so you can network and also learn about different opportunities, right? So you don't want to, you come to our various fairs, and I know sometimes those are a little bit intimidating, but they're often places for you to kind of just see what opportunities are out there and then kind of follow up after the fact, right? So definitely take advantage of any internship or career fairs that are being offered, any networking opportunities that are much smaller scale, so you don't have to do that grander scale of networking and connecting with people. Then there's also resources such as Handshake. I'm sure everybody knows what Handshake is, like you utilize Handshake a lot to make appointments and different things. So definitely Handshake is like a great place for you to start. And for each person, Handshake kind of tailors internship opportunities to the major that you have on there. So you'll find opportunities that are already specifically tailored to your major. Then there's other lists such as internships.com, idealist.org, and then campusphilly.org. So campusphilly.org, highlights all internships and job opportunities specifically to Philadelphia. So like, let's say you want an internship only in Philadelphia, you don't want it in New Jersey or in the suburbs, Campus Philly is a good place to start looking for internship and job opportunities. Then last thing I would say is just research companies and organizations. Like Google is a great resource that, from its origin has been super helpful in helping us connect and stay connected. So organizations, you might not be sure, like let's say I was interested in working at any healthcare facility, so I can just Google like healthcare facilities in Philadelphia, see all the ones that are there, go on their websites individually and see what kind of internship opportunities that they have to offer. So Google should be a best friend. Definitely utilize Google to find opportunities as well. So I'm not really gonna go over this, but like, technically we're not really an intern in COVID anymore. So this like whole COVID intern about finding remote jobs, I don't really think that is relevant right now, but I do want to say that internship opportunities are still being offered hybrid. So if hybrid is a schedule that you prefer to work remote as opposed to in person, like there's still those opportunities available out there, even though we are technically emerging out of COVID. The next thing I want to say, just to highlight, take initiative when you apply to opportunities, right? So let's say, So let's say your internship wants you to come in 5 days a week. You can say, listen, hey, it is summer and I'm still a college student and I still would like to enjoy my summer and not spend my entire summer working. Is there a potential that I can lessen my days, or is there a potential that I don't have to come into the office every single time and I could really get to do some of my jobs, do some of my roles virtually and then come into the office maybe once or twice a week? So employer suggest ways that you can suggest to employers, talk about your strategy for doing this and how you would get your work done. But definitely take initiative with employers, because if you don't ask, you really don't know if they will offer it to you as an option, right? So if you get a full-time internship and they're asking you to come into the office every day, just ask, because you never know if they'll say yes or no, right? For students with disability, we have a specific disability resource that will help you find internship opportunities. You can reach out to me directly so that I can tell you exactly how to like get through this whole website and referral program in order to find internship opportunities. Then outside of just like local internships, we have internships abroad. So if anybody has considered, hey, I'd like to see what it's like to have an internship overseas, there's a website here at Temple, studyabroad.temple.edu/interns. So you can learn about various internship opportunities. But just to point out a couple, RTU Rome has internship opportunities, specifically in the human services and experiences with refugees. There's art-related internships there. There's also business-related internships, law-related internships. And I think an abroad internship will be a great opportunity for you to see how things operate in a different country as opposed to the United States, right? So let's say you did one internship opportunity overseas and then one in the US, you can kind of like compare and contrast how different we do things in different countries, right? Then our Japan campus also has internship opportunities there. These are all organizations and companies that offer internships to students as well. So Temple Rome, Temple Japan are Temple campuses. So if you are interested in any of those programs, they are open to all Temple students. So I strongly encourage you to like consider that as an option as well. And just so you know, study abroad are sponsored. You can get funding for study abroad. Oftentimes an application comes on and you can apply to get funding for your study abroad. So I strongly encourage that if study abroad is something that you have considered, but you're concerned about like the financial aspect to it, you can get your study abroad funded, so definitely look into those opportunities as well, and don't feel solely limited to opportunities within the United States. Outside of that, we also have public service internship opportunities. So I'm not sure if students know about the Harrisburg semester that we do, and then the Washington, D.C. semester. Then there's like some city hall internships. You can work on a campaign. This is an election season. So there's all these different internship opportunities that are available. And I know a couple students were like, they wanted to learn about how to find these internship opportunities. So there's so many different opportunities out there. It's more of you trying to figure out exactly what it is that you want to do in order to find an opportunity that is best suited to you. And then just the last resource I wanted to talk about. So I'm not sure if people know our Joyce K. Salzberg Canvas resource page. So on there, we actually post like interested internship opportunities for liberal arts students. So we have student workers that kind of like scout these opportunities and put them on here. So they do more than half of the work for you. And then you just have to come on here, see if this piques your interest, and then apply to these various internship opportunities. So there's internship opportunities, and this list is updated on a weekly basis or sometimes every 2 weeks. to display like the most recent internship opportunities that are available. So that's the last bit of how to kind of like search and find these opportunities. We'll go on to talk about materials. So like I said, as you are preparing your materials, you want to make sure that, you know, you're addressing them to the right person, but also be mindful of deadlines for internship, for applications. So if an internship, let's say the application is closing on Friday, you don't want to wait until Friday to be asking for a letter of recommendation if that's what they require. You don't want to, if you are asking for letters of recommendation, you want to give your faculty members enough time to be able to, you know, write that letter of recommendation for you. So, you know, when you are seeing opportunities that you want to apply to, look at the deadlines, write them down so you remember. You want to follow all the instructions exactly. So if they say submit a CV, you don't want to submit a resume. If they say submit a resume, you don't want to submit a CV, right? So just making sure that you are following all the instructions. And then, like I said, customizing your materials. You don't want to be applying to a position at the art museum and your cover letter says you're applying to a position at Drexel University. So just making sure that you're paying attention to detail and making sure that all your application materials are error-free. The other thing I will say is that we help students review their materials. So if you want to come to us and we can help you kind of like review your materials to make sure that they're error-free and the materials are up to date and they all look good before you kind of put them out there. Next, so one thing I strongly encourage students, so you know, we always say the world is short-staffed currently, but if you don't hear back from an internship that you applied to, I recommend you follow up in about 2 weeks. Hey, just checking in to see if you received my application, when I should be hearing about potential interviews and so on and so forth. The next thing you want to do is anticipate phone calls or emails. So I like to tell students, I personally always have my phone on do not disturb and I don't answer calls that I don't know. So I never offer my phone number as an opportunity or a way to reach me. I always prefer email because I check my email often. I check my personal email often. So I prefer email as my method of communication. So, you know, just when you are preparing your material, just kind of, you know, decide how you like to be communicated with and just utilize that method, right? So if you know you don't answer calls, or then don't put your phone number as a way to reach you, right? The best way to reach you is emails. If the best way to reach you is on your personal email as opposed to your temple email, you just want to make sure that you are clarifying that in your materials and documents. Because one thing is you don't want to miss potential opportunities to interview for positions that they're interested in having you come for. Next thing you want to do is schedule mock interviews with us. We are super excited to help you prepare and help you run through an interview session with you. And then lastly, depending on the position that you are applying for, you have to decide if you need to prepare professional clothing or figure out how you dress for your interview. All right, so students had asked about how to receive academic credit, and we're winding down with the slides. So within the College of Liberal Arts, there are several different departments that already offer academic credit for internships. So if you are a psychology major or criminal justice, English, sociology, global studies, or political science major, like they have internship courses already built in to their program. So let's say you are any of those majors, you have an internship, you want to receive academic credit, you reach out to the person in that department and ask them about how to do that, right? If you are in majors that don't offer academic credit, then you can take the CLA professional development internship course, which is one that I run. So in this course, for every 50 hours that you work, we count it as 1 credit. So let's say you wanted to earn 3 credits for an internship, you would have to work about 150 hours for a semester. And I think this kind of varies by department. I believe in psych, they ask for like 45 hours to count as 1 credit. So it kind of just varies slightly by departments. For internship credits, you can earn up to 12 credits towards upper level CLA credits, right? So you can do multiple internship opportunities. You can also kind of sub internships out with community engagement, research, and study abroad to also gain these experiential learning credits up to about 12. And like I said, these will be upper level and they'll just say like CLA elective. they won't be specific to your major. So if you wanted like a upper level class that says English internship, then you want to take the internship in your English department. This way it will say like it's an English course that you took. All right, so for every 50 hours, you earn 1 credit. You can earn up to 12 credits for an internship. So if this is something that you're interested in earning 1 credit, 50 hours for a semester, great. Super easy to kind of add to your course load, right? 50 hours, you can kind of spread out. If you are doing about 150 hours, sometimes that students work about 10 to 15 hours per week in order to get that 150 hours by the end of the semester. So just kind of see what works best for you and based on what kind of free time you have in your schedule. All right, so how do you receive academic credit? So first, you schedule an appointment with your internship coordinators if you want to get your major specific ones. You schedule an appointment, tell them about your internship opportunity, and then they'll walk you through the process on how to do that. If you want to earn just general CLA credits, you reach out to me. Hey, Carissa, I have this internship and blah, blah, blah. I would like to earn 3 credits. What are the steps? So what I will do is I will send you a contract. In that contract, you'll fill out with your name, major, if you've earned any internship credits. You'll input your supervisor's information and then also talk about what you will do at that internship. Then I will provide you with a link that you will share with your supervisor and they'll also do a contract. So then what I'll do is I'll go in, look at your contract, see what you say, and then also just double check with your supervisor. Once everything looks great and I approve the contract, then I will go ahead and register you for the amount of credits that you would like to get. So just a couple things to kind of like point out. To add an internship course to your course log will require you to pay tuition, right? So let's say you wanted to earn 3 credits over the summer. Most times financial aid does not cover summer semesters. So you would have to pay out of pocket to earn those 3 credits. I strongly recommend to students that you take internship courses in fall and spring semester, because if you are already taking a full-time course load, which is between 12 to 18 credits, you don't pay additional tuition for that. So your course load will be 1 flat full-time rate. And then let's say you are only registered for 15 credits and you wanted to earn, 3 internship credits, you'll get up to 18 and you don't have to pay additional tuition for that. So just something to keep in mind, in terms of like the cost of tuition when it comes to adding an internship for academic credit. All right, so like I said, these are just a couple internship sites that our students have been at. So if there's something on here that you see that you might have had an interest in knowing what they do, finding out what kind of internship opportunities they have, let us know. If there's something on here if there's something that you don't see, but an organization that you have in mind, you can also let us know. We can kind of figure out how to get you an internship there as well. All right, so this is just my contact information for students that are interested in following up with me. I know a couple students early on said they wanted to learn about paid internship opportunities. So if you want to learn more specifically about paid opportunities, you can definitely meet with me so we can kind of talk about paid opportunities that would be interesting to you. So my email is listed right here. So definitely reach out to me if that is something that you are interested in. So the last thing I will say is we have an Instagram, so you can follow us on Instagram. We often post about internship opportunities there. So you can find out about tips and different things about internships, find out when we're having the career and internship fair, so you know when to come out and when to network, etc. But I'm gonna stop sharing now and open it up for questions. Does anybody have additional questions outside of the ones you had at the beginning? And if you don't, well, thanks for joining me today. I hope you have I wish you all the best of luck on your finals. If you are graduating, good luck. If you're not and you'll be here, definitely come talk to me about potential internship opportunities in the future.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
For when you were talking about getting academic credit for internship, and it counted as an upper level elective outside of the major, but in the college.
Yes.
How would you tell like how that works towards your major? Because when I'm like looking at well, DARS is already hard to look at, but when looking at it, I don't really see like where I would be required to take upper level electives that aren't specific to the major.
So this is a good question for an advisor. So when you meet with your advisor, you say, how many free elective credits do I have, right? If they say you have 6 free elective credits, you can take whatever you want for those electives, right? Then you're like, okay, well, I'd like to take an internship for 6 credits. And those will count as your offer level. But these are often conversations that you have with your specific advisor about like, hey, how many electives do I have? How many electives can I take? What kind of classes can I take for electives? And they'll often say like, hey, you can take an internship, reach out to Carissa, she'll help you figure out how to kind of get that done, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's probably very specific.
Yeah, and I don't know what DARS is. I've never seen DARS, so I'm not an advisor, so I can't specifically tell you, but most times when students come to me, their advisor said like, hey, you have some free elective credits. I think you can add an internship. Reach out to Carissa, she can help you find an internship opportunity. And then you can also like write off, so you don't have to take an additional class, right?
All right, yeah. I
But
mean,
great question, Michael.
just with DARS, it's like it's supposed to list everything your major requires of you, and it'll show categories. It's just that usually when it's asking upper level electives, it usually specifies that it should be within the major.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's like sort of a general thing. I'm a transfer student, so all kind of gen ed stuff, including if it required upper level electives, I would have gotten waived out of that.
Oh, okay.
So I wouldn't even be able to see that. I don't think my DARS shows that since it's already like finished.
Okay. But yeah, I definitely recommend reaching out to an advisor. Since I don't do advising, I always tell students I never want to steer you in the wrong direction. I don't want you to end up taking classes that you don't need. I don't want you paying more tuition at the temple than you need to. So I'm not the best person to talk to. So I will often like tell them talk to the advisor, and then if I can start that conversation with an advisor for you, that's also something that I do as well.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome, Michael. Have a good rest of your day.
You as well.
Thanks. Sierra and do I have
Hi.
questions?
I just had a couple of questions. You mentioned earlier how some internships will ask you to stay longer if they like you, even though this typically just like one semester. Would you say that it's better to stay or to try to get a different internship so you can have like different kinds of experiences?
I mean, I always recommend different types of experiences, to be honest, because there's so many things that you could be interested in. You don't want to spend your entire time just working at the same internship and then realize, oh, this is not something I want to do later on, right? So you can very politely like decline an internship that asks you to extend, and say like, hey, like, I really enjoy this internship opportunity, but while I am considering like so many different things that I'm interested in, I would like to do another internship opportunity based on something else that I'm interested in. So oftentimes students stay, it just kind of depends on what your goals are, right? So let's say you are close to graduation and you would like to get a job in this field. Yes, you want to be like, okay, sure. But you also want to be planting that seed like, hey, I'm graduating in 3 months. If y'all have any full-time positions, I would be totally interested in it. But it just kind of depends on, I strongly encourage you to try different things, just because we often aren't just solely interested in one thing, right? So my interest is like broad, even as an adult, my interest is like really broad. So like try as many different internship opportunities as you would like. If it's something that you really enjoyed and like they give you an opportunity to do a different part of a project, then that's also like a good reason to stay, right? So I had a student that did an internship over the summer, but didn't really get to do a lot of the stuff that they said. So when she stayed on, she was like, I really wanted to learn how to write grant proposals and do all this stuff. So when she stayed on, her internship was more specific to those things that she wanted to learn. So there's different ways.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
And also, do research labs count as internships?
So research labs count as research credits, but there's also like research internships, right? So sometimes it's a little bit confusing, but you can do independent study if you want to do like a research lab and have that count towards like experiential learning credits. But there are some internships that are research specific. So it's just kind of dependent on what it is that you are doing. But
so is that just something?
Sorry?
Oh, I was just gonna clarify if that was something that you'd have to clarify with the specific lab.
Yeah, and then also like talking to us too. So like if you give me like the job description, I'd be like, okay, this is an internship and this is a research position, right?
Okay.
Great question.
And just, oh, and one last question. Is the Professional Development Center available over the summer if we want to schedule an appointment?
Yeah, we will be available over the summer. I think we are gonna be spreading out our time, so we're available Monday through Friday at different times. But yeah, we're available throughout the entire summer to help students.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good day, Jamie.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you. Sierra, did you have a question?